the Regional Business Support Network Biz Bites, and we are talking about what documentation do you need to get funding from a bank for your business, a financial institution. What are they looking for as far as documentation goes? So thank you everyone for joining us. We are recording, and for those of you who are watching the recording, hey, thanks for watching the recording. And so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle McFadden, and I have a sneeze in my nose. Don't you hate it when that happens? Oh my goodness. So I am the Regional Business Support Network Business Development Advisor. So if you want to turn that into an acronym, I'm the BDA for the RBSN. Don't we love our acronyms? We do, we do. So we are at 11 a.m. by my computer. So let's get started because I am excited to be in the room with some fabulous expert presenters from CIBC, from Community Future Central Alberta, from TD Bank, and from ATB. And today we have a quick 20-minute session designed to help you confidently prepare the essential documents lenders need to see when you're looking to fund your business, whether you're starting up, whether you're expanding, whether you're buying new equipment. All of these documentation and knowing about this documentation before you go to the bank hopefully will be helpful. So today we're talking about crafting a strong business plan, preparing financial statements, understanding the role of personal financial details, and organizing key documents. So I am so excited to be here with this great panel. So thank you so much for joining us. One thing I will ask, just as a housekeeping, if you have questions, because we have such a short period of time for our presenters to share their great knowledge, I'll just ask you to wait until the end with your questions, and then we can field a Q&A and extend time if necessary. And if you're not presenting, I'll just ask you to mute. I'd love to see your lovely faces on the call, but if you can mute yourself if you're not presenting. So with that said, welcome to Getting Funding Ready, the key documents you need to secure business financing. So I'm going to hand the microphone over to our very first presenter, Dayton from Community Futures. Take it away.
Thanks, Michelle. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Dayton. I'm the lead business development advisor here at Community Futures Central Alberta. We're located in downtown Red Deer, but we support everybody from Red Deer south all the way down to about Carstairs, and then west all the way from Highway 2 to about the BC border. We're a nonprofit organization that provides small business support to owners in forms of training, resources, and coaching. So I'm going to start out and talk to you a little bit about the business plan and the importance of a well-structured business plan. The goal of a business plan is to allow yourself and the reader to have a comprehensive understanding of the business. Making sure the business plan is well structured will help you to achieve this goal. Utilizing a guide or a template can be helpful in organizing the content that the business plan requires. There are many options out there from free to paid templates. A few key sections to include, starting out with the executive summary. So in this section, you'll kind of want to discuss the who, what, where, when, and why of the business. The goal is to convince the reader to continue digging into the plan. This section is the first page of your plan, but actually the last one that you want to complete. So once you've kind of done your entire plan, you'll kind of go back to this, and this is kind of that summary section for you. The second section that you're going to work on is the business overview. So this is a great place to explain where the idea of the business came from. Was it an existing business? If it is, then maybe write a short history about it. In this section, speaking about the ownership and the structure of the business is important as well. Who are the owners? How does the company flow? Third point I'm going to talk about is the market analysis. So in this section, the goal is to show your reader you understand the market and that you will be able to achieve sales targets. You want to present your understanding of the target clients and how you will provide a product or service to them. Doing your research of the local competition and how you will be able to operate in the same market is vital to present in this section. This one's a little bit trickier. There's some more research that needs to be put in and time to do this. So this is a great way to kind of scout out the local competition, right? Understanding where they're located, if their target market's similar to yours. Sometimes you're going to have to sit in a parking lot and count how many people go in and out of the building, right? It's a little bit trickier, but there's lots of great resources online. One that I would suggest is Business Link. They have a lot of great free resources for you. And the last section that I'm going to talk to you about today is the financial overview. So this portion of the plan is all things money. The reader should understand what the total cost of the project will be and what is the source of the funds. So that means where's the money coming from to fund this project? Creating financial projections is part of this section as well. So creating realistic and understandable projections. Showing your work on how you created these numbers will help to validate that projection. A little example of this would be is if you're selling pizzas, say how many pizzas you're going to sell per hour in a day to get to this number, right? If that number is realistic and you have the amount of staff needed and the amount of resources, then yeah, that's possible. But if it's unrealistic, then you're maybe not validating those numbers properly. So that kind of wraps everything up for a small portion of the business plan. There's much more involved in it, but these are some of the overviews. So I just want to kind of reiterate that when you create a business plan, it's not only just for the reader, it's for yourself as well. So this is kind of a roadmap to you building a successful business. Thank you everybody for your time. I'm going to pass it over to Tricia to talk about the next topic.
Thank you, Dayton, for that valuable information. Hello, I'm Tricia Fawcett, Relationship Manager for Business Banking with CIBC. For over 150 years, CIBC has committed to understanding what is important to business owners by providing the trusted advice, services, and support needed for these businesses to thrive and grow. For myself personally, over 11 years after returning from running a language school in Japan for 10 years. I work out of Red Deer and I cover our surrounding rural Alberta. Today, I'm talking about financial statements and their importance. Financial statements are one of the primary financial documents for evaluating a company and its financial health. Understanding the information on these will help business owners and lenders answer key questions around the operations of the business. It's important to be aware of the quality of your financial statements, as these are almost always used when presenting a proposal for lending and should be professional and accurate with your signature of review. When discussing your proposal, you want your documentation to represent your business as well as you do with your work. We as lenders want to see that representation of the financial health of your business operations without errors or omissions. In addition to portraying a clear and impactful proposal to our risk department, accuracy is vital for all calculations and validation of the business's ability to manage its financial responsibilities. Resubmissions or clarifications of financial documentation errors cause applications to take time and for red flags to be raised on the business's management style. There are different types of financial statements in terms of review involved and assurance, audited, review engagement, compilation engagement, which was previously noticed to reader, and lastly, internally prepared by yourself or your bookkeeper. Financial statements typically include a cover letter, income statement, balance sheet, and notes. Some may also include a cash flow statement. I'll summarize the three main statements next. The income statement details a company's revenues, expenses, and overall profitability over a stated period of time. So there's no direct personal equivalent, but similar to a personal tax return as it outlines the net income of a business. A balance sheet details the assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity of a business at a single moment in time. So this is the business equivalent to a personal net worth statement. The cash flow statement provides information about how the business generates and uses cash during the fiscal year. So cash flow results from three major groups: cash from operating, investing, and then financial activities or financing activities, pardon me. We as lenders use the different statements within the package to achieve key financial ratios that give insight into the profitability, liquidity, and leverage profile of the business. These are all key metrics used to determine such things as the ability of a company to generate revenues, how the business sources and uses cash, the sustainability of a business's operations, and lastly, the ability of the business to service its debt obligations. So in banking, profitability is measured by earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, or EBITDA, EBITDA. And liquidity refers to the ability of a company to use its current or short-term assets to cover all the current or short-term liabilities. Evaluation of the financial statements is a key component of all lending applications, and the ability to represent the why behind the what, or the story behind the numbers provided. Thank you very much for your time, and I will pass it on to Monica.
Thank you so much, Tricia. My name is Monica St. Dennis. I am a branch manager for 2 branches with ATB Financial. I've been with ATB for 25 years, held pretty much almost every role from file room to relationship manager doing business, and then now branch manager. I am going to be talking to you about why lenders request personal financial details. When you apply for a business loan, lenders will typically request a variety of personal financial information. This information is used to assess your credit worthiness and determine your ability to repay the loan. Some of the specific factors that lenders may consider include your credit score, your debt to income ratio, your income and employment history, your assets and liabilities. Your personal financial health can have a significant impact on your loan application. For example, a high credit score can help you qualify for a lower interest rate. A low debt to income ratio can show lenders that you have a good track record of managing your finances. And a stable income and employment history can give lenders confidence that you will be able to make your loan payments on time. When you're applying for a business loan, it's important to be honest and accurate when providing your personal financial information. You should also provide all requested documentation, such as tax returns and bank statements. And be prepared to answer questions about your financial situation. Having a little bit of chirping. Lenders may request personal financial details to assess your creditworthiness and determine your ability to repay the loan. Your personal financial health can have a significant impact on your loan application. By following best practices for presenting personal financial information, you can increase your chances of getting approved for a loan and securing a favorable interest rate. That's it for me. I am now passing it to Jane.
They've covered a lot of information, so I might be doubling up on some of the information presented. My name is Jane Watson. I work for TD Bank. Been here, I'm not even going to say how long, but in the small business role, at least 20 years. I do presently cover a few rurals, Three Hills, and sort of covering for Airdrie and Olds at this time. But available to answer all of your questions. I was going to talk about supporting documents that may be required. We've covered a lot of the personal income. My best tip would be your lender is going to provide you with a list of documents, and the quicker and more thorough you can provide those documents, the faster and smoother your application is going to go. With every type of business, I'm going to make the assumption that you've been around at least 1 year. And for sole proprietors and partnerships, your historical revenues and expenses are reported within your personal tax return. It's called Statement of Business Activities. With that, most lenders would probably require what we call a notice of assessment for your personal income taxes, which gives us comfort that you've paid your personal taxes or at least made arrangements to do so. Interruptions, as i.e. the CRA freezing your bank account, makes it difficult for you to pay your bills or your staff. Another document to provide, clearly define who the owners, the principals of each entity are through your trade name registration, your trade name as a sole proprietorship, then your incorporation documents, where it'll provide either a listing of all directors and shareholders. And all of those people have to be involved when you do make a credit application of any sort. Notice of assessments for the businesses could be requested if you are not actually asking your accountant to prepare a financial statement. The actual tax return for a corporation is called a T2, and they would want all pages included with that document as well. Other things we might look at would be your business license, which validates your ability to operate within that center. Interim statements, which could be in-house from Simply Accounting or QuickBooks, and they're called aged accounts receivables, aged accounts payables, and it shows on a time period of your outstandings from a period of 0 to 30 days, 30 to 59, 60 to 89, and then anything that's over 90 days. And that gives the lender an idea of what's coming, who you do business with, whether it's concentrated in one particular industry or what have you. And at the same token, we would look at your payables to give us an idea of what's coming up next for regular bills. Lease agreements may be required if you rent a space, and that sometimes helps us determine how long we can spread your loan over. Franchise agreement, if you're entering into one of those types of businesses. Purchase agreements for real estate, for other businesses, estimates for work to be completed by contractors, invoices for purchases of any sort of equipment or materials. We do encourage you to stay involved with your accountant and your bookkeeper so that you can tell at any given time where you're at. And it gives you the opportunity to make the adjustments to find a new revenue stream or reduce some expenses. Remember, we all want to help. We want to help you achieve your goals. We just don't want to put you in a situation where you're not in a position to repay the loan. I'm going to pass it back to Michelle now to do the wrap up. And thank you very much.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Dayton and Tricia and Monica and Jane. I know that we have a very short, limited amount of time, but that information, I can see a checklist happening in my head from each one of you. So if you're watching this recording, watch it again and write down, and you'll have an amazing checklist from these experts on how to approach a financial institution to find funding for your business. We do have one question in our chat. Annie is asking, how often should a business plan be revised and updated, because hers was written in 2023. Dayton, I'm going to ask you to address that question.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for the question, Annie. I don't know if there's a set time frame. I would say it depends on what's changed within your business. So if your business plan was being used for startup, and now you are in a different phase of your business existing and you're looking for to provide that to somebody else, that's when to update it. If you've made a shift within your business and you're focusing on something different with your product or service, I think updating it then. So it's kind of an ever evolving document. I don't think there's ever a truly finished version of it. So update as there's major changes that are happening.
Wonderful. Thanks, Dayton. Do we have any other questions from our attendees today? You can certainly unmute at this point and ask away. Oh, it's very quiet. We must have overwhelmed everybody with our checklist. Greg, I see you raising your hand. If you can unmute and ask your question if you have one.
Well, it's difficult because I mean, I'm just starting off my business here right now. So you don't have any track record. You don't really have any sales. You just have this great idea that you think is a great idea. How does a guy like me end up getting a couple of bucks to end up getting this vision to become reality? Because if you're bootstrapping this without that kind of validation, and I'm just searching even for money to end up getting some coverage for patents and a prototype design. I can end up providing projection models of what I think it's going to end up being, but that's pretty tough to end up getting money around. So be glad to have some insights on that.
Awesome. Okay, panel, let's help Greg out. Who would like to jump on answering that question? You go ahead and unmute as you wish.
So I'm happy to start this off, Greg. Every business we like to say is it depends, right? Because yours obviously is going to be unique to every other face that's on this panel. But it sounds like potentially you're starting with an invention of some kind. You're creating something, and so you're going to have multiple trials that you'll need to go through. Am I right here, Greg? Without spilling too much information about what you're doing?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't really have too much to hide. I won't end up getting boring itself or anything else, but I'm developing a framing and glazing system for a new type of cultivation system. And that's the component that really ends up being patentable. So trying to get this, like even when going through an incubator that I just did, which by the way, thank you very much, Michelle. In talking to them, it's really hard to end up getting to that stage of the bootstrapping aspect of trying to get it going to that next level. And that's where I'm really kind of in a challenge. So yeah, I'm innovating. I have something new. I know it ends up working. The math basically revolves around it. But without having prototypes and without having that patent, it's really hard to sell anything right now. So I just need that validation and that verification. And this is where I'm trying to find degrees of money to help me to get to that level. Because once I have that and I have it established, then I know it's easy enough to end up getting the money in those kind of situations. But at this point right now, it's hard. And without having money to end up from the parents and such, or maybe even giving up stake in a company, which even that they don't necessarily even want to do yet, I'm kind of in a stuck situation.
And so I will just kind of close my remarks here because it is a challenging space, but it's an exciting space. And it would be less on, I would say, a CIBC at this point right now, because what you're looking for is a little bit more of that startup support that may be better answered by one of my colleagues. But it's not an impossible space, Greg. What I'm saying is you are going to have to put a little bit more work than the average Joe, I would say. But I would encourage you to speak with more of our lenders on the panels or previous panels that are designed to assist with more startup. They might be able to direct you to even some grants or some different ways that you could source your idea that in a different capacity.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tricia. So, Greg, I know that the last episode of Biz Bites was how to find grants for your business. And so I will send you that recording as well. And absolutely contact the presenter, Brianna from Pocketed. She is, I would say, Canada's leading expert on grants. And she does do complimentary consultations. So it's worth a conversation for sure. And I know Dayton is agreeing with me that that might be the first step to see what's available, especially in the innovative agribusiness type of marketplace. So make sure that you check out that Grants 101. And if you would like to get a copy emailed to you, then you can absolutely email me at mmcfadden@rbsn.ca. You should have all my email because I sent you the link this morning. So with that said, we are at time. So thank you to Tricia from CIBC, Dayton from Community Future Central Alberta, from Monica St. Dennis, who is the branch manager of ATB of Sundre and Caroline, and Jane Watson from TD, who services our region. I really appreciate everybody to come collectively together for the Regional Business Support Network's Biz Bite episodes. So speaking of that, the next episode that you want on your calendar is February 18th. I will put a link to get your seat to that next one. And why do you want to attend? Because the subject is how credibility sells. And I will be your presenter for that one. So it's all about building credibility for your business, infusing that into your marketing strategies so people get to know, like, and trust you. And once you have that trust, you get the transactions. So I'm going to teach you how to do that on February 18th at 11 a.m. So the Eventbrite link is open. I'll put it in the recording email to go along with this. And so thank you so much for being a part of this great presentation. Hopefully this will be a monthly event from the Regional Business Support Network. And the Regional Business Support Network comes to you at no cost. And if you're looking for a grant for your business, hi, I'm Michelle. So if you want to sit down and do some consulting, some planning, some working on your business plan, even if you just need hey, I don't know how to deal with this situation, I need to talk to someone, I'm your girl. And it's brought to you by Community Futures Central Alberta. And it is brought to you by Invest Olds, the town of Olds, and funded by Prairies Canada. So thank you for being a part of this great network. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now, everybody. Thanks for coming.
I apologize for my camera. I lost it. Oh my gosh. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for attending.